I wanted to start by Stacy and I just walking around the studio so you get a kind of like, there we go.
Okay.
So you can see the, where I do this, and you get the feeling of what a design studio looks like, and some of the equipment that I use. So we'll just walk around and here we go. Right, so is what I see what they see?
Yes.
Okay. So this is about 1,000 square feet. It's in a very simple industrial center with mechanics and accountants and hairdressers, nothing special, but this room really works for me. So maybe just kind of turn around this way. So I have all my racks here. This is a cutting table that I've been setting up for today. So it's got a lot of stuff all over it. And then I'll just walk you around and tell you what I see. We're here toward the front, and we have this big wall of windows all across the front. And these are all the patterns, and they're separated by fabric. And I generally work in silks of one kind, silk velvet, silk charmeuse. And so when we need a particular pattern, they all have numbers and names, just like children. And so I'll say, and I look for the size that I want. And sometimes I will combine two patterns for the neckline. That's great, Stacy. For instance, okay, so, and then they're all on these hang tags like this. And then this is the identification, and I have the pictures of the design and a fabric swatch that we've made it that way once. And the name of the dress is Seduction. And it says it's a sample pattern, the date that it was done. And then there'll be also a size marked on here. And then we have a hole punch that all this goes through. And that's how it's kept in order. And then all of these are my samples, more or less categorized, but again, not perfect. We have a little kitchen area here, not what I call a kitchen. It's a faucet and a sink and trash. And we have a bathroom. This is a little work table where we do covered buttons. This is a great machine, but it's a press, and you put the metal form of the button here. You bring this down, it puts the fabric around the button and makes a beautiful little covered button. A microwave, and I guess we can walk through here, and just more samples, so that when a sewer, I have an order for a particular dress, I will bring this, find the sample for the sewer, so they have something to look at. It could be a sewer that's never seen it before, and this will give them all the detail of like what sort of finish did we put on the edge of the ruffle, and is there a facing, and I mean, because those would be in the pattern, but obviously you want to see, what it is that you're making. And yes, more samples. Photographs. I have tons of press, which is, as you know, very important, and just boxes of magazine covers and models in dresses, and like what I put together for today's. But I have books and books of magazine, cover issues, special features, and it's just, it's good PR, as you know, helps open doors. And right now you're doing a great job, Stacey.
I can't see what I'm doing, but
well, I don't usually have things hanging all over the racks, but I thought this might be interesting for you. I mean, every sewer's dream. So I have racks and racks of threads, obviously color categorized, and then all of the special different hooks, crystal straps, buttons and brooches, binding, large zippers, plain zippers, invisible zippers, all that stuff would just be a mess if it didn't have this kind of organization. So this is the workroom. These are things that gowns and dresses that we're actually working on now. And then one of the most important features would be the cutting table, which is that long table over there. Each one of those sections is 4 feet. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This looks like 16 some feet. And I keep all of these are the bolts of fabric underneath the table, and they're organized by the fabric. This is silk charmeuse. It's probably the fabric that I'm using most these last several years for this type of dress. Well, we'll get into the dresses later, but this is silk charmeuse. You probably know what it is. It's charmeuse is a silk satin, very flexible and soft, and it comes in different weights, also called mummies. I'm not sure where that comes from, but and I use the heaviest 30 mummy weight available. So it's very soft and luxurious, and the way I cut it, it drapes on the body. It's not a sexy fitted piece. It shows that the body's moving inside, which I think is sexier than actually seeing everything. If it's life inside, your eye is always attracted to movement. So storage, etc. And then all the different fabrics are these are the chiffons. The laces are over there. So it's just a bit of organization. And then preparing for today, I went through a lot of the photos that I have, and I just pulled out things that I thought might be interesting. And I hope you've received, I know you have, the little packages that I sent of the 3 fabrics that sort of got me launched in the area that I've been really for the last 35 years, believe it or not. And so I wanted to tell you that story and relate it to, as opposed to fashion design that changes every season, and you do a group or a collection and you're known for that. Let's say it's Ralph Lauren, and fall is coming, but it's spring for you, and you're thinking, what fabrics do I want to use in the fall, and what would be suitable? Of course, you're going to think of heavier linens and maybe some lightweight wools and whatever works for your eye and your mind, and how you have found your customer wants to be seen and what works and sells for you. So you'll proceed with that, and you'll have your contacts of fabric suppliers, and believe me, they will be in touch with you, the designer as well, because you are their trip to the bank if you buy their fabrics. And then their job is to always present something new. So everyone's in sort of moving the same direction. What are people looking for now? What hasn't been done? What relates to the times now? Are we happy? Do we want colors, or we want everything sort of dull and sad? So I'm a little bit outside of that, because I'm more of the artist than, yes, there is design and fit and shape and quality of fabrics and materials, but I'm more this isn't a plan. I've never studied this. It's just been, for some reason, I was born with wanting to express myself the way I dress. And my mother says that, by the time I was 3, I was dressing myself, and I would change clothes 3 times a day. And I don't remember that, but that's not something she'd just make up. So I think there's something the way my mind works that, and I was raised in the country. I'm a country girl from Ohio. I have a sister 18 months older, Jan, who lives in Phoenix. And she's also tied to nature. She is the executive director of the Arizona Trails Commission, I guess you'd call it, and oversees the grants to get those beautiful trails maintained and opened up all around that 300-mile trail that goes around Phoenix. Jan gets the grants that keeps those going. And we both are really tied to nature, because that's how we grew up. We think mom and dad must have just sent us out there, and we're surprised we got back in one piece, because we're on our Shetland ponies, and she was Tonto, I was Tonto, and she was the Lone Ranger, and we had to save the world. So we both see life through what is around us, as everybody does, but for some reason I take in the colors and the textures of what I see. And I have an urge to make something, create something. And happily, the freeway from my brain to my fingers seems to be well greased. I can use my hands work well to create what it is I'm thinking and feeling and seeing in my mind. Nothing, I haven't planned this. It's just taken me a lifetime to figure it out. I've been doing it, but I didn't think about it. Like, where did this come from? Or why am I doing this? It's just something I wanted to do. But I'm kind of getting to, in aging in life and thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I more of an artist than just a designer? Because a designer is kind of like doing, the very function is important to me too. I like things to be simple in a way, but it's the design and the color and the feeling that you get when you're wearing my clothes that's important to me. So back to that. I want to show you the 3 fabrics that I've done that I'm known for. They are at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. They're at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. They've been worn at the White House. They're worn at the Oscars. And so I'm not the only one, I guess, that sees things my way. Others find them appealing. And so I want to take you on that trip of the first thing I did that was truly a translation of an image that I saw, and then I brought it into my own work. And this is what it is. This is the hand-painted lace. And I started with regular white lace. You'd think I'd have a piece of it around, but it exists, as you can see. And the story goes this. I'd taken the weekend off to visit friends in a city, a little town in the hills, about an hour and a half north of Los Angeles, called Ojai. And it's well known for its beauty. And it happened to be spring. And I'm just driving around, loving what I see. And the hills were alive with all of the spring blossoms and wildflowers. And they're just colors everywhere. And I just thought it was super. But that was kind of the end of it. And then I was making a lace dress for a client. And I didn't have any employees then, I don't believe, maybe one assistant sewing. But I'm just sitting at the singer, pushing the white lace through, and floral lace. But when I look down at the flowers, I get goosebumps now. I saw the flowers with colors, just like the hillsides. And I actually was a painter before I did clothing. I just could paint, just like I could make clothes, but it wasn't, I didn't study it. I didn't go to school for it. And I started selling my paintings to restaurants that I did big paintings, just whatever subject they came up with, and I would do them. So I was familiar with painting. And I found a wonderful woman that was French, and she used a French fabric dye, and I really wanted to have it to show you today. And she's painted all the laces I'm going to show you. But I have not found that lace, and unfortunately she's passed away. But I will be able to find it because I remember it very well, and I have pictures of her painting. It's a bottle the size of my thumb, and it's liquid like water, but it's very intense color, and you dilute it with water, and like in a little glass bowl, and you put one little drop of that intense dye for pale pink, and then 2 drops for something more intense, and then I'd spread a sheet out on the floor, put the lace on that, and paint just sitting on the floor with the lace beside you. And so this was one of the first dresses that I did. And you can see that okay, so here's a bigger one. So you see it's the same pink, but it's more intense here, and then it gets pale. And so she had the ability, I mean, I think I painted my original sample swatches for her, but she had the ability to take that and even expand on it. And she really captured the feeling that I wanted. It wasn't intense. It wasn't, too colorful. It maintained the sense of the feeling of the dress. The fabric is painted long before the dress is cut. I just paint the yards of lace. But the other thing that I do that makes my work kind of special is difficult to see. But I don't just take a pattern for this dress and place it on the lace. I know enough about making clothes that I cut maybe just a square this big, and I put that on the form. And then I cut like this lace along the bottom edge. Each one of these is a flower, and it's the edge of the lace, but this is all hand stitched on again. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but trust me, I mean, there is a seam line here where this flower, and the purpose of this is that I didn't want to, I knew I wanted this scalloped edge, but I didn't want a seam here and that flower cut off, because that's like picking a flower and then tearing the leaves off of it. I just didn't want to do that. So, and even the side seam, it is a side seam, but I've cut around the flowers just to, to keep that, maintain the person that wove this lace didn't see the flowers being cut in half, and I didn't want to do it either. And then, just the little covered buttons and keeping this scalloped feature throughout. And then I also like to continue on with, oops, I'm really getting her full skirt. There we go. So underneath, little covered buttons, lace covered buttons. A copy of this dress, it was a little bit more intense colors, was bought by a woman that she wore at the White House for a big event. And that was, a treat for me to have it end up there. And she was very pretty too, young woman, maybe mid-30s. I think her husband was something, a government official or something. So this really is not lined on the bodice, but obviously you're going to need something. The skirt has, because I want just to support the fullness in the lace so it doesn't hang straight. And then you get to, again, that sort of floating light feeling. So, but the slip, only you wearing a dress knows it's there. But I put some of the extra scallops, and I put that along the hemline. Just, you never know when your slip's going to show. So it just helps continue the feeling. And this is the silk charmeuse that I mentioned earlier that, feels great, but it has wonderful movement, and it's cut on the bias as well. So that's maintains that soft movement. And then again with the two, I think it's one thing to make the lace, but this is another piece that I wanted to I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. I think if I take it off, but you see this great shape. It's just so fun. It's almost like you took a lily and turned it upside down. And the bow can come off.
Sorry if I'm jiggly.
No, you're doing great. And then the little covered buttons, help maintain I mean, you could put pearls or something else, but this just kind of goes inside, kind of like matched a little bit, put the dark buttons with I mean, that's obvious, but I'm just pointing it out. And the little scalloped edge here, little covered buttons on the wrist. And this is going to be.
Oh, the snaps.
Now, maybe you can see this. In my saying that I don't like to cut these straight lines through all these curvy lines. So this will actually show you with the actual where I've cut it. You see the blue here. This is the seam line, and it's a little zigzag. I sewed it with zigzag. And then I'm sure you all know what a godet is. It's that triangular piece that you insert. So if that wasn't there, this would be a straight line. And then you get no fluff. Now you get the fluff on the side. So that's, but all of this, so I'm sewing around the pieces. And when you looked at it from the front, you didn't see that. Because you don't need that eye interruption when you have all this other stuff going on. And because these are made to order, the client knows it, but the rest of the world doesn't. They just say, wow, that's a gorgeous top. But it's what you don't see that brings it there. And my motivation is not to make things difficult, but just to make it look naturally beautiful and interesting, and in a way honoring the fabric that has been created for this, so that it shows the fabric in its best light. It's sort of like us putting on a little bit of makeup just to look the best we can. We have what to work with. So this is and this is I mean, I have a full collection that's actually in storage, but I got these out, and this is just a simple little like peignoir that does the same thing. I take advantage of the scallop edge, but it's actually, you can almost not see it, which is a good thing. But it's all of this is, and it's to cut. I cut around the flowers. Like if I just cut this, it just would have been weird. Just you would see the seam. As it is now, there's all this shaping. The seam actually comes down here and then over here and over here and gives that wonderful shape that you saw on the mannequin. So you're left with all of this of only seeing what I saw, the beautiful flowers on the hillside. And that's what I'm trying to recreate in something that you can wear and that you can, I don't want to say own, but it's in your life, and that just kind of keeps you close to nature, and that's kind of the purpose of this. Let me keep things on time. Great. So I was invited to do a fashion show showing the painted lace dresses. And I partnered with a wonderful woman that lives in Venice, California, that I've known for years. And she's English, and she makes hats, and she dyes the straw for the hats. And they're fabulous things. And the show was for a women's organization. I think it was something to do with the art community in a small, lovely restaurant in Venice Beach. And so she knew someone that worked with the Los Angeles Ballet, because I had 5 gowns and we needed at least 5 models. And so we have 5 ballerinas and 2 male dancers to do the show, which was a like lunchtime afternoon show. And we put the theme together with, I can't remember why, but we chose a Greek theme. French lace, flowers, I don't know where that came from. And her hats were not Greek looking, but anyways, it was a Greek theme. And so the two male dancers, their job was to escort the models. We were dressing in an artist gallery across the street. They walked into the restaurant, so it was a little bit of a back and forth. And so we had the two male dancers escorting the women. And I thought, God, they have these gorgeous dresses, but I don't want the men in tuxedos. I mean, it's a luncheon. What can we do? And I thought, togas. We'll put these guys in togas. Of course, they had great legs, great bodies, and so I thought, togas. I've never actually seen a toga. I just know that they're pleated. We all know Mary McFadden, and we know that shape. But I didn't want, this was sort of a lunchtime. I wanted it fun. I wanted these guys to be, like almost like they were playing dress up or something. So I decided to do the togas, but short, like either on a slant or just and one shouldered, and the other one, I think, just a deep V. But the fabric, what was I going to use for the fabric? And this was, oh my gosh, 35 years ago. There was no pleated, the polyester pleated fabric that you can find now, pre-pleated. So I thought, well, I just knew that I wanted pleats in my togas. So I bought China silk. So I'm not sure what China silk, what it's most used for. I think often linings. And because first of all, almost, I can see through this, I wouldn't want to, but as you can see, you wouldn't wear something with just one layer of China silk and be covered. Well, but I thought, well, I'm going to start with this because I know I need to pleat it. So there's going to be a lot of it. And I made the togas, but if the neckline was just a neckline like this, the same in the back.
Stand on that side. Oh, so
What?
I was just going to say, stand on that side so I can get so you don't have as much backlight.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
That's
So I made the togas. Did I do the togas first? Yes. I made the togas, but they were, like huge, just yards and yards of the fabric. So if I wanted all of this pleated, obviously I need more fabric. But that does not look like a toga. What it looks like, I'm not sure what that is. It's just a lot of fabric. So I made them, and then I thought, well, I need to pleat them. How am I going to pleat it? And so I threw them in the bathtub, got them soaking wet, and then took them out and twisted them very tight in a rope and laid them out on the floor. And 3 days later, they were dry. And this is not one of the togas, but it's as close as I can get to show you. And I had all these irregular pleats. And it was actually perfect. It was just exactly what I wanted. This is now one of my best-selling dresses. I didn't want the sleeves there for the toga look. And I made 2 different togas, but you can see all the yardage that's here. And then when it's on, it just sort of floats over the body. And when you take it off, of course, it would just, your body is warm and will, the pleating will get softer, like your butt. So when you take it off, you twist it back up again. And I suggest doing it right after you've worn it while it's still warm. And this is your purse while you're wearing the dress. And there's how you store the dress so it's ready the next time you want to go out.
Thanks.
And then just to give you, so I really expanded on this. And this is a coat, and I did it reversible. Let's see, here's this bag. But then winter came, and what was I going to do? So I thought, well, I'll do the same thing, but in silk velvet. So this is not really. So low top and the skirt, which boy, it's really deep in here. No, oh, that's too bad. Let me see if I tip it back. Oops, not really, because it has a great, a beautiful fit,
Anyways,
but
I
it's
can
still
do
easy
this.
to wear. Gives it great comfort, ease to wear, perfect for travel and packing. You just wad these up, and this is just a little slip dress. This looks tiny, but it opens out. So I've never offered the dresses. They're all couture, all made to measure, but the these both turned into a rep at the Mart. These were featured in a Los Angeles newspaper, just as a unique fashion feature. And a rep saw it at the California Mart and got in touch with me, and is sort of like, as they say, the rest is history. And I was selling to 200 stores coast to coast, and for about 10 years, and just changed, like spring, summer, fall, and winter with the colors between the silk and the velvet, and the different treatments. And about that time, I met Stacy, came to me for a wedding dress. Yeah, I ended up with 6 wonderful young students from the FITM that were working in the studio, the cutting, sewing. If you're interested, I'll show you the machines that I have now that we use. We have a Juki, which is just basically straight stitch machine, power machine. This is the overlock machine, Singer.
Am I in there?
And then over here we have, this is a marrow machine, which the velvet, I do the hems on the velvet with the marrow machine, because I don't want to do a turn and top stitch.
I can. Is it in there?
No, just down a little bit. There you go. Yeah. And that's a Singer marrow machine. And this is just a regular old sewing machine that, because I really don't use those. Those are for production. And if I just am making something for myself, it's a Bernina. It has a lot of tricky things that I don't really want to use the zigzag on something. But that's that. And let's see here. Oh, so what I'm doing now, all the pleating and different fabrics and stuff is really in the past. And this is what,
Just stand, you won't get as much. Yeah, I would stay there. Just
when I stopped doing that and I started getting orders for the wedding gowns, I was doing a lot of that, but I wanted, you know, to do something, you know, bridal and wedding is not my thing. It's just, I mean, I like to work with adult women, and I just don't think of strapless poofy dresses in my repertoire. It had nothing to do with the Ohio landscape that I knew. So I wanted something very simple, and I've had this collection now actually for a long time, but it's very popular. I have about a dozen styles, and it's the heavy silk charmeuse. It's made to order, but I'm working on a collection that I can sell to stores that are not made to order at a greatly reduced price. And I'm saying this respectfully. Yeah. The trick to this dress is, it makes it an easy sale. It's reversible. And I have over 100 colors. So I do brides, but as I said, I've been doing this for this particular style for almost 20 years. And those brides that I did, they did not want poofy dresses. They were very high-powered women that wanted, they were the star, not the dress. The simplicity allowed me to do, not on every style, but with something with, whether it's a cowl neck or this, to do the reversible. And but that woman now is the mother of the bride, and that's my new focus. That's my new customer, and they're great. First of all, I already know them, but I want to expand that, and I want to continue the couture, where they come in and it's made to measure. Let's just say she's, you know, bigger boobs, or, you know, it's completely made for her. I mean, a new pattern, this style, and maybe she wants a wider strap or whatever. But this would also be, I think, perfect for the mother of the bride that has to get a dress, hates the thought of it, because she probably will never wear it again. And I call her the new woman in town, because the women that I've been working with for the past year are maybe 60, but they're in amazing shape. Whether it's the Botox or whatever, they're playing tennis, they're running, they look great, and they don't want to look like the mother of the bride. They don't want to look sexy. They know that's not appropriate, but they'd like to look alluring. And I'm their woman, because I'm older than they are, but I get it. And whatever dress color they feel they need for the kid's wedding, I've got it. Here's my color card. But their color might be that they would like to be completely different. So that will be inside. And I did 5 last year, and every one, because I followed up and asked, they all changed for the reception, and they wore their color they liked for the reception, because who cares by that point? The other thing is, even if you're, you know, an athlete, or, you know, in perfect shape, use all kinds of lotions and potions, your body might be toned, but your skin really doesn't look 25 anymore. So to, get them through this while everyone's still sober and can see your skin.
Oh my God.
Go with it. I find a silk chiffon of the two colors that your dress is, whether it's pink and purple or lime and orange or whatever. It exists someplace. And I have this very simple silk chiffon coat. And no one's asked for anything different. Well, actually, one wanted a shawl. That's fine. Just hem the fabric. Finish the edge. See, here's the marrow. That marrow machine is a big part of my life because it finishes the edge. There's no facing. There's nothing, it just kind of disappears. But first of all, just for some reason, I realize that, movement, whether it's a man or a woman, and men love what I do, but they don't really know why. But if you're in one of my dresses and you see it's not tight, it moves over the body. When something moves, male or female sees it, their eye is attracted to it because movement could be danger. It could be a snake. It could be a lion coming out of the bush. You can't help but notice movement. And when you're attracted to it, and you happen to be a man, you know what you're looking at, but you can't see it. So you can imagine, anything you want. And the woman loves it because she's comfortable, and the dress is moving, and it's 2 layers of this satin. You don't see handy lines, and because first of all, it's not tight, but she's comfortable and relaxed. And I only get a particular kind of woman that gets this is someone obviously with self-confidence. It's not so much the body shape, because I've had 1 or 2 that could lose a few pounds, but it's just easy and cut for them so that it shows what we want to, where it can fit and where it can't. But the chiffon, okay, so maybe not the best skin tone, you don't really see it, but I do. But when you put this over it, you don't see the skin at all. But what do you see? You see the outline of my arm. And if I move, and that movement is what starts the traction. And first of all, it's very comfortable, but you don't see the skin tone. So if you're in shape, as I'd say 98% of the women that come to me for this design are in shape, they look almost perfect. But to keep the movement going, the side seam is open. The center back seam is open. So when they're walking down the aisle, there's just a little bit, all of this movement is alluring. She's perfectly covered. It's that, well, again, the only time you don't move is when you're dead. So when you're moving, there's life, and people are attracted to that. I didn't plan this. It's just I do what I feel. Just like from the first time with the painted lace, it just goes from here and it comes out here. And I've only been analyzing it lately. Like, why has this been successful? What is it? I haven't talked to a psychologist, but did you want to show something?
Well, I was just going to say, when you're talking about the way the fabrics fit, how.
Okay, all right, they're not done yet, but we may have to switch over. I just want to let you know to come on over. All righty?
Pardon me?
Oh, she's
Oh,
talking.
okay. Oh, Stacy brought me some pictures I showed her the other day. What was it you wanted me to point out?
Just because, on some of the fabrics are just on larger, just on
okay.
plus sizes.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got the perfect body, right? And then I find this woman so attractive. So I think she's just done everything right. So these are some of my styles. There we go. So this is actually a leopard print devore. It means it's little pieces of velvet. It's a chiffon fabric with a leopard print on top, and then a silk charmeuse skirt. And the way she has her hair, I mean, she has a really very round face, but the way she's brought it up on top, when your eye looks at her, you just look from the very top of her head, which she's elongated herself with that hairdo, down through, and then on the skirt, the deep drape of the again, the bias, all of these are on the bias. The deep folds of the bias skirt create vertical lines as well, just in the shadows. Here she is in a, it doesn't show us, but it's the same fabric but in black, and this is a pant. There. So I'm working now on a mother of the bride. Well, I'm calling just the mother of the wedding collection that will be, most collections have God knows how many pieces in it, but I just want 3 dresses of this, different necklines, and the skirt that she has, a long skirt and a jacket, short and sleeves, and blouse with long sleeve, either way, and all reversible, and a pant, a pull-on pant, silk charmeuse, also with 2 colors. So there will be something for, everyone, and in any of these super colors. And I don't know how many of you follow, like, of course I get Vogue magazine, but all the spring shows have been on, and I'm looking at the colors for next year. And I kind of look at trends, and what I feel or something. And colors are exciting, but what's tricky is, see, these classic colors, but there's a red that I think if you took cinnamon and turmeric and put them next to each other, they're just off a little bit. They're just not, because I'm looking at, something here, but and if I put it like this, which would be close to turmeric, this and this, it would work, but it misses something. So not sure what I'm going to do about that, because I don't have the volume to have my colors dyed for me. So
You used to do.
Pardon me?
You used to do that.
Yeah, I did. Well, which fabrics were those?
Velvet.
That's right. This is probably one of them. See that, because this is the silk velvet, not pleated. What I showed you were what was it? Yeah, the pleated piece, but it didn't show up very well here. But this is what it's like. But it's after I get it wet and twist it and do all that to get all the, because I would definitely, this would be a color I would use if I could find, what's this? Well, the velvet has this shine, so I'd have to, I don't know if there's any velvet down there. It's in the far. Maybe that. Yeah, that might work. Let me show them. Because you can't really see, can you? Can't see that. It's too dark. But you get the idea of what it is. We'll have to check in a few months and see what I came up with. So I think that we kind of started with the flowers on the hillside in Ojai, and moved through that. But so if anyone has, I don't know if we can exchange questions or anything, if you have, I'm happy to help. I can't hear anybody.
All right. I'm going to look at my chat feature to see what I have there. And we have 6. All righty. Here we go. Does the plastic covers over your samples affect the material in any way?
Oh, you mean for the storage that I'm using?
Yes.
Not that I've ever seen.
Very good. All right. Question on the Merrill sewing machine. Do you use it just for velvet or never heard of the brand yet? That's a
this-
narrow rolled hem.
Right, here it is. That's it. I mean, it's less than 1/8 of an inch.
So
I mean, you
it's
can-
like a rolled hem, but very narrow.
I'm sorry?
Is it like a rolled hem?
Exactly, right.
Excellent. Oh man. I can't tell you that we're just sitting here drooling over everything you're doing. And so we're getting a lot of comment here going, I like her. I love her. Yes.
Thank you. You know, that
Yes.
is
Yes.
important to any artist because, you know, you put in something out there that you love. But, you know, other people might say, I wouldn't wear that to save on, you know.
Yeah. But you understand what we mean by fabric love. I mean, we love what you come up with.
Thank
Your
you.
lace, I would call it a collage, you know, making the lace fit the garment like that. Oh, that's wonderful. Now, here we go. Wonderful presentation. I just love the details and design. Never thought about using the Marrow machine for garment edge finishing. He thought it was only for badges. Thank you for the Marrow connection. So our serger is compatible. You know, some of our sergers that we get for the home, you can switch it around for that.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'd be looking at that Marrow machine.
Yep.
Because
Does two velvets? Oh, yes, that's just beautiful.
doesn't interrupt the flow at all. If I
No.
did this tiny French seam or something like that,
Yep.
wouldn't move.
Great.
And we like movement, remember?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Does two velvets for the reversible dress make the weight of the dress too heavy to flow? Do you use a velvet and a silk? When you're doing two velvets for the reversible dress, or do you do a velvet and a silk? Charmeuse.
Call me in a couple months and I'll tell you. I don't know. I haven't done it yet. That's the plan. I thought of that. But there's only one way to find out. And I don't know that the thing with the charmeuse is that I usually cut the two layers together, and it's very tricky with putting because it's all bias, and you don't want the inside dress, whichever one it is, if it's the green or the blue, you don't want it hanging lower than the one that you're seeing when she's wearing it. So those are very legitimate questions. And will it hang the same if it is charmeuse? I like that idea, but I'm on a neckline. I'm just afraid that the difference in weight and the fuzziness of the velvet, when you've got the charmeuse on the top, the velvet might and that might actually be a nice accent, but it's kind of killed the trick that it's actually the same dress that you just didn't know she had on 10 minutes before.
I understand. Let's see. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. Stunning. Thank you so much for talking about movement in relation to the fabric. And already people are telling me to check in. We will take you up on that.
Yes, I would love to do a follow-up with you know, and because I have been asked to do a commercial, you know, to sell to stores, these, because I will get anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, even $7,000 for this kind, you know, for the reversible dress and a coat. And it depends on this is the most simple style. There's some are a little bit more complicated, but I can't, I don't have the name, you know, and to sell that into stores. People aren't going to pay for that for Hanna Hartnell. So, and production, I can do it for cheap because I'm not fitting somebody and making it fun. But I really don't know if I can, the least that I can sell that for and make it profitable. Because I'm not interested in mass production. I don't want 20 of these hanging in a, even if it's Bullock's. No, it's usually a single owned high-end boutique that gets their regular cut. Have any of you ever seen a mother of the bride store? I haven't. Why? You don't have a return customer.
Yes.
They may come 2 years later when the next kid gets married, but they're not in there all the time to see what's new.
Yes.
So it's very hard to make it work. So I want to approach the stores where those women normally shop, and they come in and say, "Oh, Mary, my God, what am I going to do? Johnny's getting married and I've got to go to Florida, and, it's going to be, August. What am I going to wear?" And if I can bring it in at 2,000 retail, which means I get 1,000, but then I have to make it. I don't mean I get 1,000 in my pocket. So I don't know, but I'm going to try.
Okay, well, that's going to be on our list, so I don't have to wait for a lottery win in order to get one of these garments. We have active fantasy lives, as you know.
We all do.
Yes, yes, and some of them incorporate fabric, like you, but you do it so well. You're a true inspiration.
Mom taught me to sew out in that country house, and she was right there by me, and so that was I was lucky.
All right. Well, I will truly thank you. All of us thank you for it. So we will be in touch to see what further development there have been. So
thank you so much.
Very much, and to your helper.
Oh, yes, Stacy, right.
Thank you.
A wedding dress in 1985, just with an idea that we both had, a beautiful friendship. And and we've been friends and sometimes workmates over the years, on and off. But
Stacy's gone to New York with me, and she's all like this. She is there, and I couldn't do it without her. But she's so much fun to be with.
Great. It looks that way.
So an amazing woman with an amazing gift that, so I'm glad she was able to share it with you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
You're welcome. Sharing with our fellows in friendship there. Thank you. All right.